What is up, people YouTube? It is I, Super Mario Zilla, or you can call me Vinny, and today we're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Yamcha. Yamcha made his first appearance in the original Dragon Ball and used to be one of Goku's enemies, and later became a part of the Z Fighters. Like Goku, he was a fighter, but in Z, he gave up fighting. But nowadays, he is subject to Dragon Ball memes and is made fun of almost constantly. A shame, because I actually do like Yamcha. Remember, he survived being stabbed in the heart by Tamashii. Anyway, this figure was revealed with the Cell Saga hair, but later we got the Saiyan Saga version instead. People were very excited to finally get Yamcha in the collection to complete the Z Fighters. But is he worth it? That's why you're here. Let's take a closer look. Once again, sculpt-wise, I think Yamcha looks fantastic. Paint is hit or miss. The paint this time does have shading, but the issue with the shading being in random places is very apparent here. The head sculpt on Yamcha looks great and does look like him. The scars on the face are really well done. The lines of the eyes are a bit fuzzy, but you can't notice that from afar. The pupils, though, are a bit uneven, so that sucks. The hair sculpt I personally have no complaints with. The sculpt is really well done. Admittedly, it does look a bit blocky compared to other releases, but it's not done too bad. The chest is done nicely, the folds in the clothes are nicely pronounced, and the symbol on the chest is fantastic. Nice and clean. No complaints. The clothes are a vibrant orange, and some of the shading is on the front. It's just one little area of shading, and it doesn't go anywhere else. Kind of lazy, if you ask me. The arms look like they are reused from Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it makes sense, since you can't really make Yamcha's muscles look that much different than Goku's. The blue wristbands are nice, but we do get a bit of slop around here, so that's not very good. The belt is just a plain blue, and it looks fine, you know. It's not screwed up. It can be. It's just hard to screw up. The upper legs are reused from the new Goku molds, and again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Lazy? Possibly, but it makes sense. The shading is placed in between the legs, and they look a bit better here than on the chest. So I'm happy about that. The lower legs are a brand new sculpt because Yamcha has different shoes. The sculpt on the lower legs are well done, and the shoes themselves are nice looking. But some of the paint quality ain't exactly the best. Again, it's not a big deal, and you can't notice it from afar, so I'm not going to hold it against the figure. So Yamcha does not look bad, but paint-wise, he could have looked better. Articulation for Yamcha is not bad, but it's also not great either. Some limitations that really don't make any sense, so let's go over it. Head is on a ball joint, and neck is also on a ball joint. However, he cannot really look up that far because of the hair. And he cannot look. He can look down pretty far. Can look side to side. He can lean his head side to side. So, you know, that's okay. Hair itself is on the ball hinge. And you can actually rotate it. I would be careful because some people have actually broken this. So, yeah, be careful when posing the hair. I just wish it had more range going back. It looks like it should. But it doesn't for some reason. So, yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about that. Torso can move this far forward, this far back. It's not too much. However, with the waist joint, it can move further forward, which is not as good as other figures. So that's kind of disappointing, but I guess it's decent. He can lean back about this much, which again is not as good as other figures, at least. It looks like it's not as good as other figures. I swear it isn't. So yeah, it's again it's decent at best. Arms can move up about this far forward, so that's good. And shoulder clothes pads are on ball joints. That way you can block gaps. However, again, like the older figures, the arms cannot move up move up higher than this, so it kind of sucks. Biceps swivel. Elbows on a double hinge. Moves way more than 90 degrees, so that's always a good thing. Hands are on a ball hinge. This little thing here is on a swivel. Just you know, I'm pretty sure the joint is tiny, so try not to break it. Legs can move this far forward, this far back, and can move this far off to the side, which is, it's okay. It's not horrible, but it is pretty good. Knees are on double hinge. However, again, the design is atrocious. Again, better than the older molds, but still needs some improvement. Toes are on a hinge. which is really good. And we have suck-ass ankle articulation. They're on ball joints, however, this thing blocks a lot of range. And you really cannot get too much ankle rocker out of this. And again, ankle rocker is pretty much essential to get a lot of dynamic poses. Without that, you're kind of screwed. Now, this ankle rocker is not as bad as Battle Damage Gohan, but it's still pretty close. It's like, it's not good. It's just, it's not good. That definitely could have been worked out a bit better. Definitely could have been worked out a bit better. So, articulation for Yamcha is definitely not horrible. However, some joints should have been worked out a bit more, like again, the shoulder joints, as I mentioned before, and also the ankle joints, because clearly somebody did not look at other figures, because this ankle articulation is piss poor. Piss poor. And the hair, I honestly think it should have had more range. It might have been the sculpt, but honestly, something could have been worked out. Like I don't know. I honestly think there could have been more range, but that's just me. So yeah, articulation is pretty much standard for Yamcha, but compared to other figures, it's not as good. But if you're creative, you can still get Yamcha in some pretty neat poses. But still, just be aware of, you know, ankle articulation, because why? Yamcha stands just about 6 inches tall. Here are some comparisons. Here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Battle Damaged Teen Gohan and Krillin. Here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Beerus and Whis. Here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Mystic Gohan and Super Saiyan God Goku. Here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Cell Piccolo. And finally, here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Saiyan Saga Vegeta and Nappa. Yamcha scales good with the other figures, so if you want him in a display with the other Z fighters, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Yamcha comes with a decent amount of stuff. There's a couple things that frustrates me with these accessories. I'll explain them on the way. First, the faces. He comes with the neutral face that was on him in the package. Next is the smiling, edgy, badass face, which looks worse with the lines on the eyes. Next is the yelling face, which looks the best out of all the faces. And finally, the angry, teeth-gritted face, which is the second best. So Yamcha comes with the faces he would need, which is fine. I can't name any other faces besides the smiling face. For the hands, he comes with 2 fist hands that were on him in the package, 2 blast effect hands, 2 Kamehameha hands, and finally 2 martial arts fighting stance hands. And we don't have a certain hand. What was that? Oh yeah! No hands for the Spirit Ball! And you can't use any of Goku's instant transmission hands because they have a completely different skin tone. So Bandai deserves an epic fail for not including Spirit Ball hands. Finally, these Cybermen. Sculpt-wise and even paint-wise, he looks awesome. A nice inclusion, but in my opinion, Yamcha should have not came with this. The Cybermen belongs in a pack filled with them, because we only get one here. And if you want more, you have to buy more Yamchas. That sucks. Big time. The Cyberman does have articulation, which is pretty cool, but there are only swivels. Swivels? Really? We couldn't get ball joint movement to get even more range of movements? And there's no articulation in the legs? So you can't even get close to recreating the scene where the Cyberman hugs Yamcha to blow himself up. Absolutely disappointing. On the plus side, the Cyberman can have his hand pop off to recreate the scene where Yamcha is dead on the floor. Accessories are pretty disappointing for what we get. A mediocre Cyberman, no effect parts, and no hands for the Spirit Ball. Really disappointing here, guys and gals. Sorry to say. How much was this figure again? Are you kidding me? So, buy, don't buy, or wait for a sale. Yamcha's not a bad figure, but really missed a few marks. Bandai did drop the ball a little bit with this one. It's nice to have Yamcha finally in the Dragon Ball Z Figuarts line, but that price is a bit much to be asking for. If you want this figure, don't pay full price. Get it for sale. With all the issues this figure has, it's not worth paying that $65 price. So again, this figure is not bad, but it is pretty mediocre. Like in the anime, Yamcha tried his best, but missed the mark. If you love Yamcha and want to complete the Z Fighters, I recommend getting this figure sooner rather than later. I'll give the figure a 6 out of 10. Well, that's it. Thanks guys and gals so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you would like to be updated on when new videos goes up, be sure to subscribe. If you want to be notified when new videos go live, be sure to hit that bell icon. And if you want some behind the scenes stuff, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Link to it is down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.